Just a quick disclaimer, if you're looking for an easy guide, watch Kyostin V or EchoGen's video on 5-3 challenge mode. This is also a low rarity run, but it's also a very stupid run, so I recommend only watching this video if you wanted an in-depth look at how dumb runs like this play out. Think of this more as an informational flexing video, because I need to flex to compensate for my small. The main challenge of 5-3 CM is the casters. They have extreme range, deal 495 arts damage, and they can hit 2 targets at once, and they can kill almost anything that you try to put up in the middle. So the general strategy is to try and quickly eliminate the bottom right caster with some mix of Melantha and Plume for damage, Gravel to tank shots and block the weave, and Lancet to tank a shot and heal. Gravel is the most useful operator for 5-3 CM bar none, and it's a shame that she's a 4-star, so we have to replace her. But who could possibly replace such a perfect fit for a tight, cost and timing critical map like Gravel? Whom in the Arknights roster can... Oh. That aside, this is our setup. It doesn't look too odd, but that's before you realize that the first operator we deploy is Cruz in order to deal with the Naruto runner. Plume can't afford to stop hitting the caster if she gets blocked, and Yato can't beat it alone. So the second we hit 30.5 TP, we deploy Cruz facing left. Remembering not to place Melantha too early so she doesn't take aggro, we prepare to place Yato. Melantha has shoved the bottom right caster into the wall, letting Yato attack it if we face her up, but we have to be careful not to place Yato too early or she might have time to attack the caster right away. If she does, then she won't have an attack ready by the time the weave reaches her and she'll take too much damage and die. Lancet is straightforward enough. You place her down to heal and so she takes aggro from the casters. Without Lancet, Plume would have had to take more attacks and she would die. So with Lancet here, the casters attack her and Yato instead. Once the mages begin their attack animation, that means they've picked their targets, at which point you can retreat Lancet. As a side note, I retreat Lancet early before the casters finish their attack animation because Yato is still on the field for the casters to hit. They won't switch targets or anything if one of their targets disappears, but they will pick new ones if both of their targets are retreated. This means that if I were to retreat Yato before they fire their shots, they will actually decide to murder Melantha and Plume instead. But you can avoid that by retreating when their shot is already in the air, since they've already used up their attack. Now we get to Vanilla, who is completely irreplaceable. Vanilla has 3 jobs in the beginning. She has to tank 2 caster shots, kill the caster, and generate DP. Her DP gen isn't much, but because of her starting SP, she has one of, if not the fastest DP gain in the game at around 14 seconds, which is exactly how we get Hibiscus up in time despite placing Fang. Fang also serves the purpose of tanking caster shots and damaging the spawning weaves. Enemies that spawn on Fang's side end their path at the right side, meaning by the time they reach spot, they'll be closer to the end of their path than the ones he's already blocking. Because of this, Cruz will always target them first. At full health, they have too much HP and will be overrun, but Fang does just enough damage to hold on until her skill activates and we can deploy Big Bob. I should note, by the way, that my Melantha and Plume are only at about 65% trust, so killing the top left caster works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. I've thought of an easy way to fix this, but I decided that this was the best time to showcase some stupid monkey strats instead. I deploy Plume first and then Melantha to block the caster. By doing this, Melantha will interrupt the caster's attack and take the hit instead, letting Plume survive more hits later. The reason why the caster's attack doesn't split like normal is because of the way that AoE or multi-attack targeting works in Arknights. Enemies see one operator, in this case Plume, and decide that their attack is going to hit one target. But they haven't decided who they're going to hit yet. So when I place down Melantha, it updates that she is the most recently placed operator, and it targets her instead of Plume, while still only targeting one. So the top caster hits Melantha instead of Plume, but why doesn't the bottom one do that? That's because operators are immune while they're deploying, but since we use Melantha to immediately block the caster, it doesn't count for him and she gets whacked anyway. By doing this, I split the starting damage, letting both either Melantha or Plume survive another round of attacks and guarantee the kill. Some guys in Discord have tried naming this mechanic, but their names are all stupid and dumb, so I'm gonna call it target tricking and call it a day. Once we've dealt with that, the level gets pretty simple and we just have to deal with the mages coming out the top right. So we just place Cardigan over there and sit tight using skills as necessary to make sure Spot doesn't get overrun. Once the second mage comes up, we take Fang and block it while it's inside Vanilla's range, letting her deal damage to it while Fang protects Cardigan from dying too early. At this point, there's only one caster left and we can deal with it easily. We replace Cardigan with Beagle if she dies, and if a weeb gets past Spot, Poppycar is there to block it. 5-3 challenge mode is done. I'll just let the rest of this run play out, so thanks for watching. I could have just posted this clear and been done with it, but since it's kind of pointless as a guide, I thought I might as well over-explain the whole thing and hope a few monkeys out there get something out of it. There's a lot of mission guides for this game, but I always felt like players just copy them one-to-one and move on, and maybe that's because these guides are telling people what to do and not why they're doing it. This video isn't meant to remedy that or anything, I just wanted to give people who normally have to watch guides some insight on the thought process behind some of the runs that they've watched online. So while I encourage everyone to try out their own strategies and to have fun that way, I also encourage you not to do runs like this because it was fucking hell. Well, anyway, that's my flex. Don't forget to follow my OnlyFans.